everyone is doing well and they're safe. We'll go ahead and get started, and hopefully everybody can see the screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Um, we'll go over just quick overviews on the training as far as the contest is concerned. We'll discuss the rules. We'll have tips, and the main thing will be questions and answers so that we can answer any questions that you all have about the contest. There may be some questions that you may have that may be a little more suitable towards the tech support. But with the overall contest, we hope this will be a smooth process for everyone. And we know it's a different way of doing things, but it's a great opportunity to explore new opportunities in providing programming. So with the FCS contest, the main thing we have to remember that it has to be a method demonstration. So it's going to be a show and tell. Basically that we're going to prepare an item and we have a finished product to show at the end. So some of the topics that are covered under the FCS demo are clothing, family life, family resource management, health and safety, housing, and house furnishings. And then there are also food and nutrition. With that, a lot of times the question comes in, does it involve any food preparation? And that's not an area that's covered under the FCS demo. We don't have a dish that we prepare in this contest. However, it does involve basic food preparation skills, so like knife skills, measuring skills. Also, excuse me, using kitchen tools to show how to do basic food tips. So, for example, how to use a vegetable peeler. It may involve some food safety, etc. But the main thing you want to do is you're going to be showing how to use these basic skills. Food storage is also an area, and I did receive a question about food preservation. Would that come under that topic? And it can be if you're looking at it from the storage standpoint. Menu planning, grocery shopping, and food labeling. So those are some of the basic areas that are covered under FCS demo. And some of you have participated. I saw a few names of parishes that have participated in the past. And so you are familiar with the contests. With the guidelines of the contest, it can be an individual or teams of two. This year, there are a maximum of 3 teams that are able to participate per parish. The one thing that is really important to remember is there is a time minimum and maximum for the demo contest, a minimum of 8 minutes with a maximum of 15 minutes. And so with that, there are points that are deducted for the time. So 1 minute will be deducted for each minute or fraction of the minute up to the first 5 minutes. And then after that first 5 minutes is 5 points will be deducted either above or below that 5-minute time. So, for example, if your demonstration is 16 minutes, for example, then 1 point will be deducted. But if it's 22 minutes, then it goes up with the number of points that are deducted. Again, it must be a method demonstration, so we have to have that show and tell process. And remember that PowerPoints must be submitted ahead of time if you're going to be using those types of visuals for your demonstration. I have May 15th, I'm sorry, it's May 22nd is the contest day, and it's going to be at from 9 to 12. However, if we go a little longer than that time, then we will make the adjustments for whatever is needed for the students. I'm sorry, I have May 15th. I'm sorry, yes, it's June 22nd. I'm sorry. Doing too many things at one time. We're going to try and schedule them at least 10 minutes apart on the time. So therefore, it'll give a little time for us to get between each group. And so also plan to set up ahead of time for your contest at least 30 minutes. So that way, if we're running ahead of time, then we could go ahead and try and stay on track as much as we possibly can, just in case. And that's normally something that usually even on during when the contest is in person, we're able to we usually ask for everyone to try and get there ahead of time. I'm sorry. Remember that PowerPoints need to be submitted ahead of time. I think June 12th is the date. Please make sure that you're familiar with your equipment and the steps that are needed for your demonstration. So anything that you're going to be doing, just make sure that you are familiar. And a lot of times we train the students and we work with each other in trying to get prepared for it, but please make sure that you are familiar with what you need to do in order to have an end result and have an end product available in the end if it's something that has a final product. Be familiar with your topic and prepare for questions, because sometimes especially when our judges are going to be very familiar with the topics that we're usually presenting. And so therefore okay, you can't see the slides anymore? Okay, let me go back. I'll reshare my screen. Okay, for some reason my PowerPoint has stopped. Let's see. Can you all see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay. 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 So the one thing is that be familiar, like I said, with the topics, because the judges are going to ask questions, and so it's really important for the participants to be able to answer the questions related to their topic and the subject area. And the judges should not answer any ask any questions that are outside of what the topic is that the students are participating and presenting on. Please review your contest rules and the scorecard, because that's going to show exactly what the judges are looking at and what they're going to be scoring on. Please pay attention to time, because a lot of times, especially once we get nervous, sometimes we'll talk faster than we normally would, or we'll go a little slower. And so it's important that we do, as we're practicing and preparing for our contest, that we're familiar with the time, and that the 4-Hers are very familiar with pacing it at that right amount. Practice safety and make sure that, again, that you're familiar with using whatever equipment, materials, etc. If, for example, you're doing something on food preservation and canning, for example, for food storage, please make sure that you're familiar with the safety rules that's involved with food preparation, because that's going to be something that's really important. Make sure you test your technology ahead of time, because it's important, especially the day of the contest, that you make sure that your Wi-Fi is working, and to be in a location where you'll have access and that it's going to be reliable. Also, in the same note, to make sure your computer is up and that your software is up to date, or it's compatible to whatever you're utilizing. So just make sure that you do test that, and then again, practice as much as possible as you prepare for that day. And I know for some of the students, they've participated in this contest before, and so this is second nature to them. And we have some dynamic agents who really have prepared the students and will prepare them for what is upcoming in the contest. So that's pretty much, it's pretty short on the presentation, because I do want to answer any questions that you all have about the contest. And I'm going to stop sharing so I would be able to see any of the questions.
Charmaine, this is Shannon.
Yes, ma'am.
Question about, and you may not even know this yet, but are the judges going to be in the same room on the same computer, or are they going to be in separate locations?
The judges will probably be in separate locations, Shannon, because, and again, with right now with the current social distancing, we have only so many people that can be in a location at the same time.
Right.
So therefore, the judges will probably be in different locations.
Okay. The reason I ask is we're still trying to understand completely and I guess figure out how many little screens are going to be up and if the contestants will be viewed by the judges in the large screen and their posters in the or their slides in the small screen. Probably once we get closer and start practicing that way, it'll become more clear. I just don't understand how it's all going to look from the judge's perspective.
Right. And I understand exactly what you're saying, Shannon. Probably one of the things, and the tech person, Xavier, is on with us at this time. But I think one thing that possibly that the judges can do is they can change the screens. So if they needed to have the demonstration to be in the forefront, that can probably be viewed greater than one area than the PowerPoint itself,
Right.
especially if it's that show and tell. But Xavier, am I correct on this, or is there anything else?
You're absolutely correct on it. Just like whenever Charmaine was sharing her screen, how we only just saw her screen. So just in the same instance, when the delegates present their presentations, that will be the only screen that everybody will see. And then the judges have the opportunity to click in the lower area if they want to view the participant rather than view the slide.
Okay.
And I think the thing of it is that there are going to be some logistical things be worked out, and that's really important in the practice process and the process leading up to, because to make sure that the cameras in the right angles or at the right place to be able to view what the students are doing. So I think it's gonna be a process leading up to the contest and making sure that some of those logistical details on the parish side is going to be fine-tuned.
And speaking about the camera situation, I did have an agent call me earlier today as far as asking if possible if the kids can download the Microsoft Team app on their phone and that phone be placed on a tripod so it's leveled with them, rather than trying to place a laptop with the webcam in a very awkward position to do that. But I have Microsoft Team on my phone and I have it on my computer, and I use both of them at the same time on the same call. So that might be an option that you guys might want to check out to see if they want to display their presentation on one and have their camera on another one, so they can be seen at a different angle and more feasible rather than trying to have a laptop.
We might need another training on that.
You can, Miss Shannon, you can call me personally and I'll give you that training.
Okay, that sounds great. I will be doing that.
Are there any additional questions? Okay. So if there aren't any additional questions, does everyone feel pretty comfortable with the expectations for the contest day, or at least what the rules are for the contest? Okay. And Shannon, you're a veteran at this contest. We want to make this a smooth transition for the students, and we want it to be a memorable experience for them, because for them, it's really important. Yeah, that's understandable. The technology part is it is going to be a different way of doing it, but I think the thing of it is that the main thing is practicing it and making sure that you have the right views. One recommendation maybe is to practice it and video it as well, and go back and look at it and see, if your views are correct. If, for example, there's someone else, another agent in the parish that you can do it with the students via Teams ahead of time, just as a practice, so that they can view it to make sure that, through the screen, they can see the students actually demonstrating their materials. The one thing too is to make sure that the students will bring their finished products forward so that the judges can see those. But I would recommend just the same of practicing with another colleague, just to see how it works out with the students, as well as, making sure they're at ease with utilizing the technology, making sure that they know how to set up their presentation and how to transition it in Teams, etc. Because, like I said, I made the mistake of accidentally clicking one thing and it closed the PowerPoint out. And so, just getting them at ease with utilizing the equipment just the same is an important thing. And if you all need, please feel free to email me and ask any additional questions if you have any. I'd be more than happy to assist with, whatever questions you have, if I can answer them. And if I can't answer that question, then I'd be more than happy to contact someone from the 4-H team if they have any additional questions. And if you all have any additional questions for me, I'm going to make the update on that PowerPoint, and I'll send it to Robert and Xavier, just to make sure that it's up, because of and I'll correct that date on there. And I'll turn it back over to you, Robert, if there.
Okay. No, I think everything's great. No, thank you so much, Charmaine, for the training. I think we're definitely getting, close there, and I think the technology component, while it's making a lot of us kind of nervous, I think that we're definitely exploring new opportunities for our youth to get better acclimated with the technology and ourselves as well. One agent mentioned earlier, learning by doing. So I think we're definitely getting there, and we're all learning something new. But if there's no more questions, I'll go ahead and stop the recording, and you will see that link posted here, and it'll be uploaded soon.
Xavier, this is Hilton. I have a question.
You can go ahead.
Is there a way to manually take the toolbar off? Because I know, like, sometimes when I will stop moving the mouse, it'll go away. But we had a Teams meeting last night, and it never went away.
No.
So the reason I'm asking is because part of the time there was a slide that was on the screen, but I couldn't see the bottom, what was written on the bottom of it.
So the answer to that question is no. I've been told Microsoft is actually in the process of trying to do another upgrade, and that toolbar will actually be at the top of the screen rather than the location that it's in. I'm not sure when that is coming, but that's that.
Okay.
It'll probably happen on June 22nd.
Yes. Or June 24th. Xavier, I have several questions. I may just have to call you, but maybe you can help me with this. How do you, when I pull up a PowerPoint and I want the kids to take control of it, how do I do that? Like last night, I saw that it had take control on the screen, but today I had a meeting with some kids and I was showing them their slides, but they couldn't take control because nothing came up to allow them to do that.
So it depends on how you actually present the PowerPoint. So when we share our screen, we have that option to share it within a PowerPoint or share it from a file within our computer.
Yes.
If we shared within a file from our computer, from my computer and upload it as a presentation. So how Charmaine did it, she's just shared her screen, and she just pressed play on that rather than sharing it from the browser and making it the only thing. And that's how we can take control of it and not take control of it.
It's by bringing it to the desktop?
Yes, and I mean I can walk you, like we can have a one-on-one about that, and I can walk you through that. So you can, I think it'd be more beneficial if we just walk through that process.
Oh, okay, that's good. That sounds good to me. I'll contact you.
Okay.
Thank you, Xavier.
You're welcome. And if anybody have any questions regarding any technology, when it comes to any submissions, whether it's a PowerPoint or any assignments, videos for different contests, you are more than welcome to reach out to me. My phone, everybody knows, not everybody knows my phone number, but everybody know how to get in contact with me in some way or another. Ms. Jeannie said we may all need a walkthrough on this. I'm more than welcome to walk through people one-on-one, because I know a lot of times we need to actually do it so we can comprehend it in a much smaller group rather than having a much larger group. So just don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions, anything technology related with anything for you or anything related.
Are there any additional questions? Well, thank you all. I think it's going to be an awesome experience, and I hopefully we won't have any bumps in the road. It'll be a smooth sailing and smooth transition.
To answer Lynette's question as far as the schedule of a small group by region, if that is something that your region wants to do and you feel a need for your region, I've told Miss Karen about it. I'm more than welcome to do it. Cassie's in your region. I'm sure she's more than willing to do it. If that's something that the region needs to have.
Yesterday, the 4-H University group talked about, and Megan was going to follow up with the technology team, but we talked about having those individual regional trainings for people on technology. So I think that's in the works. But I think it's fine if you want to request, like Lynette, Xavier or Cassie to help. But the plan is to divide and conquer the regions and have individual help sessions for the technology end of it.
Okay, Robert, I'll turn it back over to you.
I think we're good to go. If no one has any more questions, just some emphasis, Xavier, on getting those trainings done. But I think we're good as far as content for this contest.
Sounds great. Again, if there are any questions, please feel free to contact me. I'll be more than happy to help whatever I can. So thank you all very much.